The views and opinions of the host and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the position of the management and staff of Guardian Network.
The aftermath of every social revolution brings about change. Cultural norms and landmarks shift as our minds and hearts expand beyond the familiar. To everything, there is a season and a time to every purpose in the land of the living. This is our time to renew, revive, and restore the hope lost to the busyness of life. This is our time to dig again and rebuild from the storms of our past on a solid footing that holds. Welcome to The Foundation.
The Foundation. Foundation.
Foundation. It's the foundation. Foundation. It's the foundation. Foundation.
The Foundation with Heart Grant is brought to you by Alive, AML Foods Limited, APNL Holdings Limited, Burger King, Commonwealth Bank, the Deposit Insurance Corporation, the Ministry of Agriculture and Marine Resources, Popeyes, Bronze Electric Motors, and Scotiabank.
He educates, he informs, he goes against the norm. He's really got that zeal, plus he's a child of God.
Foundation. It's the foundation. Foundation. It's the foundation. Foundation. It's the foundation. Foundation. It's the foundation.
Foundation. Foundation.
Bad boys, what you want, what you want, what you gonna do when Sheriff John Brown come for you? Tell me what you wanna do, what you gonna do? Yeah. Bad boys, what you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you? Bad boys, what you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you? When you were 8 and you had bad traits, you go to school and learn the golden rule. So why are you acting like a bloody fool? If you get hot, then you must get cool. Bad boys, what you gonna do?
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. 96.9 FM radio. Howard Grant in your company. Bad boys. What you gonna do? It's big questions that we have today, ladies and gentlemen. We are live and in full effect. It is an absolutely gorgeous day. Grateful, humbled, and truly ecstatic to be in your presence today. I'm happy to be in the land of the living. If you are out there in the land of the living, knowing that you're alive, talk to me. You're living. I woke up today, looked at my email, the thing wiped clean. All my emails wiped clean. I said, my God, what's going on? I had to slap myself 2 times to figure out if this is a dream. Is this a dream or reality? Well, it seems to be reality. So you slap yourself, hit yourself in the chest to know that you're here in the land of the living. We're still here, baby. We're still going through trial and tribulations. Nonetheless, we are here to fight, to stand resilient, and to push forward and make those things happen. Guys, make sure you pick up your Guardian newspaper today. The Guardian newspaper talks about Cornish resigns at the Prime Minister's request. Wild, big, bananas, absolutely bonkers. We can talk about this today. As is in decency and order. Let's just do that. Today, if you find out the information, if you got information, I got information last night from the releases that comes out to talk about the fact that there will be I can read the release for you. It never speaks to the specific persons, but it speaks to the incident that happened and the location that it happened. So we knew that Cornish will he's going to be in court today, all right? So Cornish, the truth will set me free. This is what Cornish says, and he talks about these things. This is minutes after the Prime Minister, Philip Davis advised in a statement that he has requested and accepted the resignation of North Abaco Member of Parliament Kirk Cornish and Parliamentary Secretary in the Office of the Prime Minister. Cornish released a statement saying his attorney has been informed that he will face charges this morning. Cornish said that the charges are based on allegations which are totally false. The facts will show that this was a breakup that was manipulated and exploited for political reasons, nothing more. This is Cornish. This is what we're reading on the papers this morning, guys. Make sure you pick up your newspaper and be able to see exactly what's going on. And so as it says, hours earlier, police advised, and let's go on to 8.3 and see exactly what's going on. Guys, pick up your Guardian newspaper. This is what I keep saying to you. It's not good enough for you to be able to go on, because you ain't gonna hear it no how. On social media, they having all kind of other conversations. We can dive a little touch on that, a little taste. So it says, our judicial team, hold on. I look forward to ending this nightmare. The 48-year-old Abaco will be arraigned in reference to the sexual assault, threats of death. Police say that preliminary reports indicate that around 7:30 p.m. on Friday, April 7, 2003, 35-year-old female at S.E. Boodle Highway reported that to police that she was sexually assaulted and threatened by a male known to her. Now, guys, I want to be as decent as possible when we open the lines and kind of stretch it out. I want to be as decent as possible in the introduction of this because the very first thing that all of us will kind of murmur and many of us will scream out for the purposes of being able to retain the character of the individual that's in here is that he's innocent until proven guilty. And so in our discourse, in our conversations today, let's ensure that we keep that staple very clearly. Let's ensure that we keep that staple, that anchor, that innocent until proven guilty. We're not going to do anything to sway the case in one way or another. I'm not going to put myself out in this kind of position to be able to lend anything. We're going to talk about what's in the paper, right? I'm waiting on my guest to be able to come in. You know, it's a Wednesday, so he's supposed to be here with me. I'm looking to see where he is. People then cuss me out and say, man, how would you need to invite somebody else on the show? Don't fight me. I couldn't even get a haircut the other day. They cussed me out so bad. But it's a beautiful thing. I'm waiting on Garth Rosborough to be able to join me in the studio today right here on Guardian Radio. But if you guys want to be able to give me a call, I would love that. 323-632, 323-6232, 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259, or hit me up anywhere for the Family Violence, 242-300, 5720. Hit me up on the text, 422-4796. So Howard, it has taken all these months to arrive at this conclusion. Like Hezekiah, I could have seen the writing on the wall. Now, somebody should have been laying prostrate and praying for 15 more years. Praise God. I mean, I just want to be decent. Is this decent? Is this decent enough? I want to be as decent as possible. I could have seen, I know, but you. We know the juncture at this point is to pray. Talk to me. Talk to me. Let's be very clear. The allegation's strong. And I think it sets a tone. The precedence that speaks to what our expectations can be, should be, throughout the length and breadth of our politics from this juncture forward. That no matter who you is, you could be home team all day. I see the fella in Atlanta calling his boy home team all day. That's his boy. Home team. Huh? 8 Mile Rock fella says, call you Schoolie. Schoolie. That means that we are collectively in one camp together. But the first thing the Prime Minister, and I think that he is April, May, June, July, August, he is 3.5 months late. Can I say that? didn't we have a conversation about this? That based upon the allegations, based upon the pursuit, the fact that the young lady didn't come to the forefront and actually retract what she said, none of these particular things, the office of the prime minister should have taken on a position to say, we're going to need your resignation. It shouldn't be hours before a formal indictment. But the office of the prime minister has taken on this position. I requested his resignation and then I accepted it. That's heavy. That is sort of a diplomatic, statesman-like position to say, I fired him. Let's just be very, very clear about this. Is that what's happening here? Now, I'm going to open up these lines, and I just want to be very clear. We're not going to put ourselves in the position to be able to, we're not going to prejudice this case at all. So let me just be decent with you. We're not opining on this particular issue. All right? Lines are wide open. Ladies and gentlemen, the lines are open. If you want to be able to give me a call, please do so. Call on the line with us live. Go ahead. Call on the line with us live. Go ahead.
Good afternoon. How are you?
I'm good, man. What's happening?
Listen, man, I'm not going to talk about this case today, but I'm talking about the House of Assembly.
Okay, go
the
ahead.
House of Assembly has come to the point where the only thing that's missing now is a mass murderer.
You are
Someone who
wilding
just
out.
walk up on one of the MPs or cabinet ministers, walk up on someone, shoot them in the head.
No. You're doing too much today.
And so the only thing that's missing now is a murderer. We have everything else in the House of Assembly. And that's where we are now, you know. So help me out.
You need to help me. you wilding out. You are wilding out. And you know what? Let's talk like this, man. I mean, in the spirit of decency and order, let's just do this. Let's do this. I believe the House of Assembly is a reflection of the society that we live in. I believe that the amplified social degradation and deterioration that we see continuing to be able to climb year after year after year after year. And then we hit 2020, and then it sort of, hit a plateau for 2 years. And then 2023, when we saw those numbers climb exponentially. Year after year, I think it was 2022, year after year after year, for more than 2 decades in this country, we've been seeing social degradation, and our politicians reflect the posture of society. So when we take on this position of being able to say we have the worst of the worst in the House of Assembly, these men are only a reflection of the communities that they come from. So what is it saying about our communities? That's the question I have for you. What are we saying about our communities? Call on the line with us live. Go ahead.
Hey, how are you doing?
All is well, man. What's happening with you?
Radio. I just wanted to let you know I supported the member for North Abaco, and I pray that you come out. We have to serve and continue to serve the country.
Mm-hmm. Do you believe that he'll have to serve the country from another standpoint? Serve the country from his community standpoint? Do you believe he's still going to be able to stand strong in House of Assembly?
Well, of course, he's innocent. In all due respect, he's innocent, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
So you would go right up from Parliament and continue to do what he do, serve the people on North Abaco and the broader scope.
I like this. I appreciate your telephone call, my brother. You're a good, decent man. I won't touch this for 2 seconds. Just 2 seconds. You give me the 2 seconds. The POP is trying to convince us. They have been for a long time. From the inception of being able to see Philip Brave Davis step into the role of leadership, the party has taken on this sort of a shift, right? And I don't know whether or not we reached the 180 mark to say that we've completely shifted and turned from the position that we're in. I don't know whether or not we've reached that mark, but I know that this organization has at least reached a 90-degree mark and kind of spilling into the 180. the party shifted. The concept and the ideas of being able to lead with a sense of transparency, we can see they have a desire to do that. And the strategy is peculiar, but nonetheless, I believe that this organization seeks to shift, to give you a fresh perspective, a new view, a new day for what the organization holds, the talents that exist in there, and the application and pushing towards that. This is a significant challenge within the organization. They look at this and they have to make a determination. I believe they have proverbial sloths. The Prime Minister, talk to me, let's be very clear about this. With the greatest degree of respect, this is not being able to, this proverbial, I want you to say this. I want you to understand what I'm saying. The Prime Minister has been a proverbial sloth. But if we're going to be absolutely honest, the perception of a proverbial sloth is politically expedient. What am I saying, Howard? Politically, the Prime Minister took those strategic steps traditionally that we've seen, and that works. So this was a good move from a political standpoint. But when it comes to reformation, transformation, growth, development, and aligning yourselves with a greater degree and understanding of what needs to happen in political within the country, this was too slow. 2.5, 3 weeks after the allegation would not be shaked, because if you remember in the papers, they did a great deal. You remember they did a great deal to see whether or not this could be shifted. Prime Minister himself said that he spoke to these particular persons. And nothing happened. And so they pushed forward with this thing, and the Prime Minister still held out until late last night. It's a sloth. Now, for the PLP to be able to be the party of the quote-unquote new day as they march towards 2026, there's going to have to be a by-election. Somebody talk to me. There's going to have to be a by-election in North Africa. Now, in my view, to save the country money, if this continues this particular course, there may be 2 by-elections, one in the north and one in the south, if we're patient enough. And based upon what I'm reading, there may be one here in the city. Somebody talk to me. Our country can no longer stand at allegiance for corruption. The stench, the perception, the idea, the silhouette of corruption should be eradicated at its root. If the PLP is serious, it should go further than asking for a resignation. Talk to me. Talk to me. We're talking like this today, guys. We're going to dive into it in the spirit of decency and in order. We're going to chop this down today. 96.9 FM Radio, Howard Grant and your company, The Foundation. We're live and in full effect, guys. The lines are wide open. Please be a part of that. We're going to take this quick commercial break and be right back after this.
Foundation. Foundation. The foundation. The foundation. Foundation. The foundation.
Attention all beauty enthusiasts. Perfect Tone, your go-to destination for restorative skincare, is on the move. Famous for flawless results within 30 days, Perfect Tone is relocating to the shops of Southwest Carmichael Road. Now is the time to get the skin you've always dreamed of, removing dark spots, acne, and oily textured skin for good. For more information and updates, follow us on social media or visit our website at ptskincare.com.
Tired of banks forcing you to use technology to bank the way they want you to? Your convenience is important. So no matter what your banking needs, Commonwealth Bank's friendly staff are always available in branch for that personal one-on-one service. But when you choose technology, our online and mobile banking app offers you state-of-the-art functionality. The choice is yours. Commonwealth Bank. Bank the way you want.
At Ron's Electric Motors, they repair and rewind all major brands of electric motors, including water pumps, generators, and the generator's back end, welding machines, electric lifts, air compressors, battery chargers, and more. They're equipped to handle up to 850 kilowatts and rewind up to 450 horsepower motors. They're conveniently located on the corner of Wolf and Clarence Roads and are open weekdays 8 a.m. to 5 p.m., Saturdays till noon. They offer 24 hours emergency assistance. You can reach them at 242-356-0249.
Let me ask you a few questions. What's your name?
Pam.
Favorite food?
Steak.
Beer or wine?
Wine.
Is your money safe?
It's under my bed, so I guess so.
Are you serious?
Yeah, why?
Unless your money is in a bank or credit union that's a member of the Deposit Insurance Corporation, there's no guarantee it's safe.
Yeah, but what if something happens to the bank?
Your Bahamian dollar deposits are insured up to $50,000, so you'd still be ahead. Plus, your mattress might catch fire. Then what?
Man, those banks and credit unions are looking good right about now.
Visit the DIC's website at www.dic.bs. Protection for your money guaranteed with DIC.
Are you dreaming of the perfect summer getaway? Apply for a debt consolidation or personal loan to win an airline ticket to Paris, Miami, or New York. Win up to $2,500 in cash and more. For details, call 356-7764 for Nassau, 602-6811 for Freeport, 823-4374 for Abaco.
Okay, school bag, books, pencils, uniform. Oh, Lord. And I gotta buy snacks too?
The Guardian Media Group and AML Foods want to help families in need with our first ever Back to School Snackathon. What's a snackathon? Well, we want to help by assisting in donating school snacks to children that may need them as they head back to school this year. To be a part of our snackathon, all you have to do is shop at your favorite Solomon Superstore or Fresh Market. At the store, you can donate your pre-existing loyalty points, or you can donate cash directly at the register. Every single penny will go towards purchasing snacks that will be donated for distribution by the Bahamas Feeding Network and Hands for Hunger. Together, we can ensure that every child that opens their backpack this year will have a snack and a smile.
Get involved, get involved. Get involved, get involved.
Come celebrate Independence the BK way with our new Independence King Combo. Enjoy a flame grilled beef patty topped with savory bacon, arugula, crisp onion rings, and our special tropical sauce on a brioche bun. Served with fries and a drink for a flavor sensation fit to celebrate every year. Top off the Independence celebrations with our new Guava Sundae or frozen guava lemonade. Our Independence King Combo and treats are available for a limited time at Burger King Nassau, where taste is king.
Foundation. Foundation. The foundation. The foundation. Foundation. The foundation.
And we are back, ladies and gentlemen. 96.9 FM radio. Howard Grant in your company. The foundation. Is a beautiful day, absolutely gorgeous day. And I always kind of give you the, I got to give you this sort of a very clear understanding. I cannot see outside from in the studio. When I went in, it was a beautiful day. So I'm hoping that we can be able to retain that position. It's a glorious day out there. We continue to be able to kind of encourage you guys to stay hydrated in this very this smoldering weather. And all you guys out there, guys and gals, if you're out there and you're made of sugar, I just want you to stay inside because you're going to melt. Stay inside and keep yourselves together. If you're out there and being able to ensure that you are a couple shades lighter for the winter time, you want to be able to ensure that you stay inside and do those things. It's a beautiful day, but I'm grateful to be in your company. Guys, pick up the newspapers. The lines are going to be wide open today. I want to talk with you about where we are in this country. I want to talk about corruption. I want to talk about its course. I want to talk about political sycophants who always align themselves with one thing or another, and really talk about what our expectations, and those of us who are law-abiding and align ourselves with constitutional rights. I want to talk about where we can see ourselves from this point forward. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to introduce you to my guest, none other than Garth Roseborough, being able to sit here in the studio with us. Garth, say good afternoon to the Bahamian people out there who are listening in.
Thank you, Howard Grant, for having me back on the foundation. Indeed, it's a very active summer. News is constantly coming across our desk. To analyze so much happening at once makes you nothing short of genius. But you know, the one thing I can say about the Bahamian people, we are some smart people. We're going to figure this one out. I think we're going to get past all of this news.
I can say this. The Bahamian people are inundated with information from every sector.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And we can answer to anything.
And subsector in this society.
Mm-hmm.
I see my good friend is in the news also. Cassius Stewart. making those significant rounds to defend his character against relentless allegations and possibility. Now, but the only thing that's kind of pricked everyone's attention is what happened in Brazil. What happened in Brazil? It's only one word I can give you. Brazil. This is wild what happens in this country, isn't it? I believe that this is a relentless deflection.
How would you save that for me so when I walked in, you could corner me with that? Because
No, you put it on the table. I just rest things gently on the table.
That wasn't gentle. You just body slammed me.
Well, this table is 6.5
No,
foot
only
long.
because
It's a big table.
I understood that my name was called numerous times. And so since you put it on the table, yes, I was there. I had prepared myself to not get involved in the situation because, the truth be told, I understand where both sides are coming from. I understand the menacing beings that are out there in terms of forming schisms and divisions and fighting for the greater two in this country. Anyone who tells you that politics is holy and that politics is righteous and that it's going to take the righteousness of mankind to overcome the evils of politics here in the Bahamas, I would have to tell them you need to beat God for yourself, because only God alone could actually right any of the ills of the politics in the Bahamas. Everyone wants to be the prime minister. Of course, there are those of us who don't really care. We just want the country to be right. But we can see very clearly that in the third-party realm a few weeks ago, Howard, I sat here on your show, and I made a statement when someone called from Grand Bahama about that same party led by Mr. Bain. And I said to them how difficult it is for victory only because there is no unity. And just like that, prophetically, now I can speak. This is what I'm talking about, chaos. Back and forth, schoolyard, this my chair, that's your chair, that's my things, this your things. Politics can never be at that level if you plan on representing this country internationally or nationally. We have to get beyond this. We have to be more diplomatic. And I like what one Professor Thompson said this week on another air. He said, we need people in Parliament, sir. And I'm speaking to you, Howard, and to those listening.
You speaking to me?
Who knows the Constitution? We have a lot of people sitting in there who have no idea of the Constitution. We got some people in these third parties who can't read, who can't write. They just emotionally involved because they want to see a better country. We got some people sitting in the major parties right now who have never read the Constitution. I wouldn't talk about telling us how much money in the bank account when they came to Parliament. They still have not revealed to us what their finances were like before they got there. This country is a wreck. I said to myself this morning, Mr. Howard Grant, that those people sitting there, the people who have a mindset like you, Mr. Howard Grant, those who are sitting there in their ivory towers, in their glass houses, listen to Garth carefully. If you don't get off your butt and get involved in this country's economy and our well-being, you too will be living in another country. And let me tell you what's going to happen to you when you get to the other country. Remember the folding chair, the brawl in Alabama? They will slam you. You know why they're going to slam you? Because you're not a true citizen of their country. You are nothing more than an invader. You are a migrant. And so this is where you're from. This is where God put you. Listen, you don't need no folding chair here. What you need to do is get out of your chair and let's get to work.
But, you know, the thing is, for me, I don't know whether or not there is going to be, as you speak, because sometimes, you know, I feel like a lot of people, they take it to the nth power. They want to be able to see at this juncture, for the emotion that was invoked, there can only be an opportunity to be able to reach out and touch someone at this point. But I don't believe that's going to be. I don't believe that. I have this sort of a position where subconsciously, very quietly, the Bahamian people expect these things to happen, and they're content with it. Subconsciously, very quietly, the Bahamian people expect there to be an unraveling of the corruption that has been existing under the underworld, the underbelly of politics for a very long time. And all they do is look at it just like how they look at the aliens and say, well, I knew it was there, and they go about their business. There's no social uproar. There's no crying out from the wilderness. The John the Baptist has gone in. This is exhausting. I've been crying for a very long time. No one hears me. Let's get back into it. These allegations are very strong. This concept and idea of unity has to be spoken consistently in every sector and subsector of our society if there is any expectation to see that. Why? Because you do have persons who are engaged and on the payroll of those that oppose you to be able to deliberately lead you down a path of confusion.
That is correct.
That's just what it is.
That is correct.
Okay? Why, after all these relentless pursuit of transparency and unity, does this come out at this point? Why? Why? Why, at the very onset of these allegations that you were at the forefront of, and I mean you, these allegations that people were at the forefront of, that it seems as though you thrust yourself in this, the first thing you say is that it was political, somebody stepped into this particular space. This is what it says in the paper. This is what it says in the paper. Right? It says manipulated and exploited for political reasons, nothing more. This is what Cornish says. He says, based on allegations which are totally false, the facts will show that this was a breakup that was manipulated and exploited for political reasons. This is bananas to me, that there is always an undertone. There is always a backdrop, some conspiracy theory associated with why you're not being as forthcoming as you should be. Everyone has some reason. Everyone. Everyone can give you a reason to appease your appetite for answers. They can give you a reason.
I will say this, Howard. Once again, for the victim or the alleged victim in this case, we are not fans or proponents for abuse in any which way or form. Anything to this particular level that the charges have been made, we stand against very firmly. The other side to this coin, though, is if, and only God probably can tell us this other than what happened, that this young man is innocent. It will not be the first time that an innocent man has been charged as such. I took on the position this morning to allow the judicial system to do their job with the hope that truth will prevail. I wish no ill for anyone, whether PLP, FNM, or any other party, based on political mischief, but I would like to see where these men and women of parliament will humble themselves to not put themselves in such a situation. Now, I don't know if this was his woman, his ex-woman, his current woman. I don't know if they had a fight about the money.
He said it was a breakup. See right there in the papers?
I know what he said.
The Fox will show that this was a breakup.
See,
that was manipulated and exploited for political reasons.
okay, is that a plausible argument? Is that plausible? Is that a
That
possibility?
ain't our place to say that.
But is it a human possibility?
You have to go in the courts for that.
Have you been in a relationship before? And have you broken up
I've
before?
been in one relationship.
Mm-hmm.
I've been in that one for 23 years.
And how was the breakup?
She wouldn't let me go.
That's why that's your wife.
That's what I'm trying to tell you.
But I didn't pick up on that long time. But what I'm trying to say to you is that you're a fortunate young man. There are some people in relationships who just can't let go. And they refuse to lose when the breakup takes place. So I'm saying it's still a possibility. I just cannot call on this one. I wouldn't be as unwise and senseless as to
But
say
we're not going to talk
this
about
is
the
case.
relationship specifically. We're talking about the allegations that came forward, and now it's had to take its due course in court. But the conversation is this. You and I spoke about this weeks ago, months ago. When we spoke about it, I said that the Prime Minister should have separated himself, should have separated Kurt Cornish from the office of the Prime Minister. I said that.
You did say that.
Very clear.
You
Very
did say
clear.
that.
Very
You did
clear.
say that.
Now,
Long time. Right away.
Before you came to the studio, I said this was a sloth's approach. The Prime Minister was slow.
Yes.
Like a sloth.
Yes.
Right?
Yes,
Proverbially.
Yes.
He was slow to make this decision.
Definitely.
However, the perceived sloth's approach, because we live in an era of instant gratification, we want these things to happen now. We already know that justice is slow. It needs to be swift in these particular matters. Let's get to the bottom of this. Why is the Prime Minister moving so slow? So I said there should be separation. The Prime Minister, based upon our perception, has been moving in a sloth's approach. However, this was politically expedient. This was a political move. The Prime Minister seen to separate himself too quickly, as though he's been the judge and the jury in this particular thing, and separate from Kurt Cornish. Kurt Cornish, I don't know whether or not I empowered himself like the Greek gods. He is Zeus in North Africa. This what the man say. I'm the Prime Minister. And then he come back and say, well, I really mean it like that. Listen to me. The long and short of this game. This is not a. The fellas is called politics? Blood sport. This is the Hunger Games.
And the day,
this is a blood sport. This is not a game.
You got me choosing my words carefully, because when it comes to these types of things, this is very sensitive.
Right.
But I want to agree with you that whereas he may have attempted to pull his hand out of the lion's mouth slowly, in this particular situation, because of the sensitivity, I would say quick action should have been administered. But to do quick action, to perform quickly,
the Prime Minister,
to perform quickly, you first have to be in the country.
Let's be decent.
You got to be in the country.
The Prime Minister did a great deal. Do you remember when we were asking when the media asked the Prime Minister? I'm going to find that when we go on a break. The media asked the Prime Minister if he had an opportunity to be able to speak to these particular persons. He says yes. The Prime Minister, prior to there to be an official interrogation and being picked up by the police, the Prime Minister indicated that he spoke with these particular persons. And in speaking with those persons, he didn't make a decision. Kurt Cornish was still nestled in the office of the Prime Minister, executing his duties on the day-to-day basis. But today, after there has been an upheaval with certain postures and positions of members of Parliament being able to elevate themselves beyond their perimeter. Watch me, let's just be decent. This is only me trying to be decent. After you seek to elevate yourself beyond the tier that we've placed you on, we've seen an unraveling. Politics is nothing to play with in this country.
I want you to hear my position, Howard Grant, very clearly. I said to you a while ago that you first have to be in the country to deal with this matter properly. You can't be traveling all over the place talking about climate change. That means that's a priority. You agree? It's a priority. This is a high-profile case. This involves a statesman, right? This involves a statesman, but this statesman, he represents a constituency of people who are citizens of this country, who would definitely be affected by any decision around this particular case. In your conversation, swift judgment as a leader, not only of the Bahamas, but a leader being seen from around the world as a proponent for climate change. The strengths of you and your climate change talk should have been brought home to deal with this particular situation. Let me tell you why. These people are in Abaco. This is not Mayaguana. This is not Acklands. This is not Exuma. This is not South Andros. This situation happens to be where Dorian just kicked their butts. Any negative news in Abaco, multiply that by 10. We are watching, we are waiting, we want to see action. Listen to what they talked about after Dorian. Action, action, action. Where's the action? Where's the help? Where's the food? Where are the provisions? Where's the support? Where? And even our Prime Minister said that now that the acting Prime Minister of Abaco has now been sent to be dealt with judicially, that he is now promising that he is now going to ensure that Abaco is going to be now taken care of. Now, strong words.
You want to know.
Strong words, because the acting Prime Minister must not have done anything as yet for the national Prime Minister to say, you know what? This is going to interfere with what he was supposed to do, so I'm going to make sure it gets done.
You want to know. I want to read this text before we go to a break. This is Good Day, Howard. What are you suggesting when you say that the Prime Minister should have moved sooner and fired the North Abaco MP a while ago? Is actually a recipe for chaos. So to assume that once someone is accused results in them being fired would naturally result in many more people coming forward with allegations in an effect to unseat the government. The fact that the vast majority of these allegations are baseless would not only be an injustice to the accused, but also render our government ineffective. Just consider what happened in the past with other accused. When a judge can say that there's not even one speck, 1 ounce, not one piece of evidence, and 99% of Bahamians still believe that the accused is guilty, to move the way you suggest would invite chaos and gross injustice. This is Texas. Let's be very clear about this. This is what the text is saying.
One name comes to my mind.
This is what the text is saying.
One name comes to my mind. Lanisha Roll.
Okay.
Lanisha Roll. Talk about it. See, this is clearly
Now,
someone
Lanisha Roll
who supports a
still in the
PLP.
courts.
That's what I'm trying to say to you.
Okay, good.
This is what I'm trying to say to you. Here's a PLP guy who you say, no, take your time. Let's investigate this before we make any move. It may destroy the stability of the government. So that same PLP person, what the heck did you do to... See, I closed the cussing today. What did you do to Lanisha Roll, though? You strung that woman out to dry. You see, I'm not pro PLP, pro F, and pro nothing. I am pro right. You see, when it comes to the allegations of a high-profile figure that's going to affect the stability of the entire nation, yes, I believe in due diligence, but you got to be fair. You got to be fair across the divide. We've done it before. I'm even hearing about allegations of putting the opposition, royal opposition in court. What type of country we run in here, man?
Listen. This is the year of our Jubilee. Now, I don't care how spiritual and sensitive to spirituality that people are or they're not. That don't have nothing to do with me. These are the principles that we are operating on in the year of our Jubilee. There will be liberation. There will be shackles that loose from the arms of those persons and the arms of those persons who've been held in captive for a very long time. And those persons who are running amok from a corrupt standpoint and diving deep into the darkest of dark will be exposed.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I don't care what no one have to say
Yes,
about
sir.
that.
So all them politicians who got their 10 sweetheart
if you
and everything
have
else,
to go,
this is the year.
If you have to go through the course of the court to find yourself coming out shimmering like gold, then Identify this as the burning of the impurities.
Gold tried in the fire.
Okay, that's all we have to do. Just identify this as the goal that is being able to burn the impurities so you could stand strong with the banner of honorable before you. But if we find that this entire cast is impure, we will place you in the proper place. Let's just be very clear about this. I'm not suggesting anything to this particular text. I'm not suggesting anything. I am saying to you that a New Day administration, especially with the backdrop and the concept that existed with the PLP in yesteryear, if there is to be reformation, if there is to be rejuvenation, these allegations need to be dealt with swiftly.
Yes, they should.
Now, the government cannot fire you as a representative of the member of parliament for your constituency.
He resigns.
Okay, talk to me.
Sends his
However,
resignation letter.
if you serve at the pleasure of the prime minister and you're doing something allegedly untowards that's bringing the wrong light to your administration, for me, there must be separation. For me. Talk to me, Garth. For me, there must be separation. Now, I'm saying to you that what the prime minister has done is politically expedient, but socially sloth, viewed through the lens of sloth. It took too long. Okay? Politically, he has made those strategic moves. This was chess, and he had to do this accordingly. But socially, from a perception standpoint, he took too long. Now, we're going to see what the court does in terms of ruling this information out.
It's amazing how you use the word sloth, or, one being slothful. I want to make a quote here from Mr. Cornish himself, the honorable member. I am fully confident that the facts which emerge during the judicial process will prove my innocence. I look forward to ending this nightmare. The facts will show that this was a breakup that was manipulated and exploited for political reasons and nothing more. I just want to focus on the whole sentence of, I look forward to ending this nightmare.
Me too.
This nightmare now has been ongoing.
Me too.
And so when you say that it's a slothful act in the way it has been conducted, he too says he looks forward.
Yeah, but
so looking forward, he wants this to be over today if he could.
Hold on.
Right? He's not going to wait a month, 2 months, 3 months.
Let's be decent, Garth. Let's be decent, Garth. He only came in on the tail end of the nightmare that we as a people have endured based upon allegations and speculation of corruption and politics concentrated, talk to me, in one political organization. Let's just be as decent as possible. He came in on the tail end. I, too, cannot wait for this nightmare to be over. Let's take a commercial break, ladies and gentlemen. 96.9 FM radio. Howard Grant in your company, the foundation. We're going to take this break and be right back after this.
Foundation. The foundation. The foundation.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.
Guardian Radio and the Foundation are on the move.
Bahamas, this one's for you.
SBT, Small Business Thursdays. Every Thursday, the Foundation with Howard Grant will highlight small businesses throughout the country, far and wide. Your products, services, prices, and personality. We want to hear it all. Get your 30 or 60-second advertisement heard on air at a fraction of the cost. We here at the Foundation understand the times and don't want you to be left behind. With Guardian Radio, you reach your specific demographic and it is unmatched.
We reach thousands daily.
Get your products off the shelf and your services in their hearts. Small Business Thursdays with the Foundation, only on Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. For more information, call 302-2300 or the Help Me Howard line at 827-0111. SBT, Small Business Thursdays. Get your business moving today.
Foundation. foundation. The foundation. The foundation.
And we are back, ladies and gentlemen, 96.9 FM radio, Howard Grant and your company, The Foundation, on this beautiful Wednesday afternoon, kind of breaking it down. You know that we're in the panel discussion, really being able to chomp it down with my good friend Garth Roseborough in the house with us today. Garth, say good afternoon to the Bahamian people.
Yeah, well, Howard, you know, this news, I'm considering it all that we have a social breakdown in our country. I know many people, you know, we fall in love. We have a relationship. We want to build a home with a husband, wife, children, etc. But the one thing we have to be mindful of, and I think this is the lesson in all of this, that if you had a relationship or you're in a relationship, and I'm even hearing now that even in marriage, there has to be a back door to exit. People are not always going to agree. You know, you'd want to stay married like Howard forever, but a lot of people can't that can't work. I think statistically, over 50% of the people who get married, they divorce. And then out of those who remain, there's another 30% more who are living in separate bedrooms, who live in separate accommodations, only together for the children, only together because of the money, only together because of social status. Relationships are not easy. Relationships is a lot of work. And you know the way it works, Howard, you start giving a girl a little candy, little flowers, and taking her for a nice dinner. You know, you start off bad because you can take her to Bar Marfoy. Some of y'all started at Bar, you know, the mother little shack and so forth inside of the road or whatever the case may be. But at the end of the day, when life really hits, when you have a responsibility to care for the other person, people end up going their separate ways. The terms in this particular story, Mr. Howard Grant, is break up. It means that the people were formerly together. Together means that they were formerly attracted to each other. There was something about each other that they both liked. Whatever it was that they liked was not strong enough for them to continue. Therefore, the breakup. The issue with a breakup, though, is that when one person attempts to break up and the other one wants to stay, we have a situation. And the situation can end up just like this one does. So men, you be very careful in your relationships. Women, be very careful in your relationships. At the end of the day, there is no real promise to stay together forever.
I won't touch this, Garth. You have to let me touch this like this.
I know you're a decent man. Talk about it.
But I won't touch it. I won't be as decent as possible. My brother, I don't know if he's listening today. My brother I love very much. He started the COB at the time. And he's great in math. We're all good in math, right? He tends to believe that he's better than me in math. I'm not going to fight him. He went to COB to be a mathematician. Like, he went to do this, to expand himself in this area. And then it got a little, you know, he was young, much younger. And it became weighty for him. The responsibility that he couldn't find himself really being able to see fulfillment. And nothing he did, it became extremely weighty for him. He took a little time off from school, came back. And he got into something that lived in his heart. And that's art. We've always been artists. We've always been, you know, creative people. And so he got into this and he excelled exponentially, swiftly. I get in some place for you. You have to start with the end in mind. And you have to know where your purpose is, how you align yourself with your aspirations. You have to start with the end in mind. Relationships go nowhere when you just believe that someone's handsome or they get money or someone's pretty or this and that. This kind of a trophy concept doesn't work in the real world perspective.
It doesn't.
Okay, so let's just be very clear about this. There could be no way that if I saw, because I grew up with married men and women around me all the time. Everybody was married. My uncles, aunts, Grammy, everybody was married. And the amount of arguments and tribulation that I saw in my youth from these people who were married, logically, I should have never gotten married because people just row. But that is not what the purpose is. There is still productivity. There's still expansion. There's still alignment. When you get married, there's still purpose to these things. For the years that I've been married, there could be no expectation that I, me, and my wife in. I always come here and tell people about Rowdy. Rowdy come. And I can't win because when she throw feelings on the table, I can't win the thing. But that doesn't mean that I run away from this. And that doesn't mean that I should find a caveat out because I know what the objective is in terms of purpose and aligning myself. There are too many casual things happening for the purposes of being able to feed your flesh. Superficially, being able to feed your flesh of what your desires are, superficial desires. This carnal mind and this carnal man is a liar. We have to align ourselves with something higher. So only to your point, when men decide to be able to pursue gown tail, like Grammy has called it, gown tail, without being able to, because what does God pursue? God knows your heart. And if we're God-like, we have to go deeper than just the superficial.
Let me be honest with you. George Orwell said it best. Power corrupts. Absolute power corrupts absolutely. Here is a good-looking man, comes from a good family. And you can imagine that, I was in high school when the girls liked the handsome fellas. They didn't like the ugly fellas like us. They throw us to the side. But this handsome fella, understand that once you enter into parliament, the amount of women that liked you before is now multiplied by 10 and 20.
Really?
Right away, immediately.
Where's the application?
Like our good man said, he is the prime minister. Abago. You hear the strength of that? And you know most women who are politically minded.
He's just a political novice. He's stuck on a turn. He don't know politics.
But this is how he feels.
You see, feelings don't work in this area.
Homeboy. We talking about the word honorable.
Don't work in politics. When
feelings work when them gals hold you.
Listen, when you're dealing with men, no one cares how you feel. You need to know policy, rules, and protocol.
You're talking about being...
Protocol, you stepped over the line, my brother.
But you're talking about being representative of what you're supposed to stand for. I'm telling you that a lot of people get into politics not for you. They have no interest in you.
And they don't last.
They have no interest in the community.
These are the people that don't last.
Their interest is in self. How I look, how I perceive myself, what I can do, what I cannot do. I am. And it comes out every time.
That sounds extremely Jehovah Jireh concept. I am.
And that's what time it is.
It's too heavy.
Because you see, where you were yesterday as a citizen and maybe a good businessman, you now have at your behalf the whole entire constituency. You use a Bible man. Let me go to the Bible for you then. Let me use this good book. When they asked for a king in Israel, what did the prophet tell you was going to happen? What did God say was going to happen? The king can get the best of your wives, the best of your daughters, the best of your horses, the best of your chariots, the best of your vineyards. What the hell y'all crying for now? Huh? They got your wife, they got your brother's wife, they got your daughters, they got the Corvette, they got the Wrangler, they got the Mercedes, they got the BMW, huh? They got all of that. Huh? And they got the government red plate car. Huh? What you mad for? They got boat, they got all kinds of fast boat. Huh? What you mad for? You put them there because guess what? If you check their heart before they got there, they was ever no good. But the minute you give that man, like we say in the Bahamas, a cookie jar, man, what you expect to happen? Only a cookie monster can love that until he get diabetes. And he still want more. It is what it is. You check most of the politicians in the Bahamas today. They come to you, hey, how you doing? Yeah, I want your vote. And then someone like sitting with them and they do all the talking because the politicians, a lot of them can't talk. A lot of them don't have no sense to talk straight. So they let the people around them talk and they come with the shirt and the cap and the wristband and all the little toys they can give you and wraps up in the shirt for you. And he said, oh, that's my MP. That's my future MP. So when the MP get in there, the same one who wasn't talking then, he talking now though. And what he talking about? Nothing to do with you. Absolutely nothing to do with you.
I like where we going. 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259, anywhere from the family of islands, 242-300-5720, or hit me up on the text, 422-4796. Caller on the line with us live, go ahead. Go ahead, caller, you on with us live. Chillo. You're gone, I ain't gonna fight you. Let me see if I can read one or two of these texts. This is, as men, it is easy for a female to accuse us of rape and to be charged guilty or innocent.
That's true. That's true.
There's a text that's coming.
Yeah, it's true.
It says, Howard, Who is the favorite child? And remember, God is watching. There's a text that's coming.
I'm going to see you, brother.
Yeah. I don't know. All right. Let me see if I can get another one. So it says, why is Garth characterizing the situation purely along the lines of what Cornish has presented? Cornish has referred to the situation as a breakup. The accuser has not. So it is irresponsible to persist in presenting Cornish's view alone. Cornish's view is the only thing that comes to the forefront, so we dissect that. So he says, this is a completely one-sided discussion of the charges made against the MP of North Abaco. Much talk about his feelings on the matter, but nothing from his accuser's perspective.
Because we didn't get anything from the accuser.
If you're going to talk about it, present both perspectives. As for the impact of Cornish's arraignment, Cornish's arrangement on his constituents, there is little concern. Cornish is hardly instrumental in the government's policy formation. So essentially what you're saying that we need you in North Abaco. That's what you're saying to me?
Yeah.
Is that what they're saying?
And I respect what those folks said in the text. They have some validity to it. But let me say this to them. Once again, we do not have the evidence. We're not the judges in the situation. I don't have no proof before me. I'm only saying what I'm seeing before me in our Daily Guardian and the reports I've gotten otherwise. As for the accuser, nothing has been presented. Now, those people who wrote the articles, maybe they need to have a talk with the accuser. And as soon as the accuser gives any type of language or verbiage or any type of information, I'll be more than glad to chime in on it. But as for now, I keep saying to everybody, this is something we have to leave in the hands of the judiciary. That's just the way it is. I know we're impatient about it. I know that we want to have the answer now, but it's not going to happen today. It's not going to happen today. All I can simply do with this particular story is I want you to now take the story and ingest it and understand that if you, I'm not talking about Mr. Cornish. I mean, maybe I speak too quickly sometime. I'm not speaking to Mr. Cornish today. I'm speaking to Mr. Baintown, Mr. Centerville, Mr. South Beach, Mr. Acklands, Mr. Maguana, and Mrs. Andrews and everybody else. If you are in a relationship, this story is not fictional. Whether it goes left or right, it's a story of reality. And so I'm saying to you today, guard yourself in a relationship. You feel entitled.
But that's not what relationships are for.
Well, what is it for?
Relationships are designed for vulnerability. You don't go into a relationship guarded. No one. That doesn't make sense. Then you shouldn't enter into the relationship.
You don't go in your relationship guarded?
No. Why?
You only had one relationship, Howard. You ain't no authority on this, man. Let's be decent about that.
I still got my relationship?
Yeah, because you only got that one to deal with.
But praise God.
You never had no woman who say, baby.
Why I need five women?
Who you date before this? Who you date before that? How much woman you had? You never mentioned that, you see.
I still married to a black woman.
Yeah, and she
so
loves you.
all this is still come to the table?
No, that don't come to the table because you ain't have no history. You ain't got no record like us.
He's a handsome man, you know, all the girls.
I ask God for forgiveness for all my sins, but come on now, Howard. You know we got to be decent about this.
Let me get a telephone call. Ladies and gentlemen, the lines are wide open. Call on the line with this live. Go ahead.
Howard.
Hey, how you doing?
Hi, Mr. Glass.
I misbehaving today. I misbehaving.
I'm cracking up over here.
I misbehaving.
Listen, you don't ever behave. I have a question. Because Mr. Cornish is saying that this is a breakup situation, and it's being used for political, mischief. Mr. God, seeing that Howard is not on our level, so I'll go to you.
Okay, go ahead.
You're now not in politics, right?
No.
And you're in a relationship. After you get in a relationship, after you get into politics, you continue on in that relationship.
Yeah.
And something happened and you guys break up. Is it political?
It shouldn't be.
Is it political?
It shouldn't be. You didn't go in politically. So what you coming up politically for?
Hello, that's my point.
Well, you smart, you know. You're very smart.
Howard, no, I always think different from everybody else.
You need to be a consultant to the government, you know.
How is your breakup politically motivated or being used for political mischief?
And you know what, cousin? These politicians know they don't behave. They know. Listen to me, man. I work around politicians.
Listen, you're fighting.
No, I'm fighting.
You're diving into some waters.
No, I'm just saying. What I'm saying to you is that
ascribe it to one person.
No, I'm saying to you that if you know that it has a tone to being a politician in this country, politicians and pastors especially, right? You all know what people say about y'all all the time. Then don't put yourself in these situations. That's all I'm saying. I right or wrong, cuz?
You're right. And see, like you say, we need, Howard, see if you could find somebody who know that young lady and reach out to her. I mean, now probably wouldn't be a good time because they don't want her to jeopardize the case.
No, it ain't a good time.
You know, but however it is, somebody needs to find out her perspective on this quote-unquote break-up.
Somebody just texted me and said she was on Shanique's show. I didn't know.
Because if you're a strong VLD, you're going out there going to date an F&M?
My wife is a whole percenty. Do you know what that means?
And what are you?
It's a grant.
No.
No. I have to give it to you like that.
No. Hey, cousin, you hear Howard trying to slip away?
Mr. God, understand Howard's situation. Whatever his wife is, as a percentage, he's now a percentage. We ain't worried about how.
But I wash her clean, though. I wash her clean. Listen to me. The dynamics of relationship. I got very clear early in my relationship. We got together in early 2000, my wife and I. I met her when we went off to school, and by 2002 was the very first election. I've never voted before, right? 2002 was the very first election. We voted, the Fresh Wind, Fresh Breeze came out, so forth and so on.
Mm-hmm.
First time I had an opportunity to go to all the rallies and so forth and so on, in terms of really be consciously trying to make a decision. And the PLP had this kind of a wave, but it just didn't feel right? I didn't vote for the PLP in 2002. I mean, that's a given. I'm not going to vote for the PLP. And then in 2007, things shifted in my household.
Mm-hmm.
I can be very clear with you.
Mm-hmm.
Now, my wife was always a percentie. Now, I never tried to convince her about politics because in 2002, I was secured. We were developing our relationship. Everything was good. In 2007, 5 years later, I had already gone and then separated myself, and I was trying to find a way to be able to anchor my family and take care of them, so forth and so on. And culturally and consciously, I thought that politics was the way. My wife came in the house with a PLP shirt on. I said, baby, you can't sleep in this house.
What?
Let's be very clear about this.
No,
we row about this.
No, you can't row.
Superficially, socially conditioned, naive, and stupid, I said what I said.
Confession is good for the soul.
I'm a man growing every day.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? I'm not going to lie to you.
Mm-hmm.
I said what I said, immature, stupid, superficial.
And still married today.
I love my woman. She's my woman. Praise God for her. You understand me? And we had to get over this hump because as a man, I tried to ascribe my downfall to certain tangible aspects, and it wasn't so. So for me to be able to find growth, I had to find myself. Politics ain't got nothing to do, and that's why I ain't got to cry about none of these things, because my growth has nothing to do with what's happening externally. You understand? I'm not going to ascribe. Now, his position is different. His position, he was already a member of parliament, and there is relentlessly spies on the wall.
Correct.
Trying to be able to take you down.
Every time.
Every time. And it happens even from this particular perspective.
Yes.
I could tell you stories about people who were sent to me. And I always find it amazing because I got some level of discernment that nobody knew. I could see people who were sent to me and asking strategic questions. Naive people. Nonetheless, they have an objective. They have a directive to do these particular things. So if we're going to sit here on the radio and dismiss this concept entirely that what he's saying, there's no meat to that, then I want to say to you that in this society, there's only 400,000 of us. And everyone's scurrying, like you started off at the top of the show, everybody want to be prime minister.
Everybody.
So everybody's scurrying for a leadership position. And sometimes people will do whatever it takes
to get to the top.
To get to the top. Let's take this commercial break and be right back after this.
Foundation. 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 The foundation. Foundation.
You've tried everything. ASUS with your mother's cousin's sister's auntie, and even hiding your money under your mattress. But is your money safe? Your Bahamian dollar deposit in a member bank or credit union is insured up to $50,000. If anything happens, your deposit up to the insured value will be returned to you thanks to Deposit Insurance. Visit Deposit Insurance Corporation at www.dic.bs.
Protection for your money guaranteed with DIC.
Don't spend hours sending individual messages to your customers. Use SMS messaging instead. With Cable Bahamas Business Solutions SMS messaging, you can send personalized messages to hundreds or even thousands of recipients instantly. It's quick, effortless, and cost-effective. Plus, it ensures that your messages are delivered directly to your customers' cellular phones, guaranteeing higher engagement. Save time and boost your outreach with SMS bulk messaging. Call Cable Bahamas Business Solutions at 601-8911 in Nassau or 602-8811 in the Family Islands.
Popeyes, get the chicken sandwich you love, but make it blackened. Marinated in Popeyes blackened seasoning, that is. Our new juicy filet is fried to perfection without the breading, served on a toasted brioche bun. Try it today as a combo or a la carte. Don't forget to choose your level of spice today at any one of our 3 locations.
Love that chicken from Popeyes.
Foundation.
And we're back, ladies and gentlemen, 96.9 FM radio. Howard Grant and your company, The Foundation, on this beautiful day. It's all, doesn't it? Is it not baffling to you and blow your mind that every day we have something to talk about? That's crazy to me. Like, we do this every day. And it seems that issues never subside. There's never a drought of tribulation in this country. We're always on course to talk about something that's gone awry. Ladies and gentlemen, the lines are open if you want to be a part of it. 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259. Anywhere from the Family of Islands, 242-300-5720, or hit me up with the text 422-4796. Let me read one or two of these texts. It says the accuser spoke on the matter at great length months ago when the allegations were first made, including on Shanique, that's what they're saying, including on Shanique Miller's show. I guess we can go and check it out. Howard, we should believe all women regardless of facts. If a woman feels rape, she feels raped. This is heavy, and I don't want to get into that. That's too much. That's too much. Especially it's just too much. So this is Howard. When the women came forward about the allegations from a family island, she was immediately disqualified. When do we assume women always, why do we assume that women are always after money? I heard the young lady is from a family who don't need for nothing. Okay, I'm not going to read the rest of this. It's too much. I think we've gone beyond these particular things. It's not for us to unravel.
That's what I've been trying to say from the onset of
the
show.
Entanglement. It is not for us to unravel the entanglement. It has been elevated to the courts of the land.
That's it.
And the courts of the land are going to make this determination with juries of their peers to make a determination from this particular juncture.
I'll tell you what it is, Howard.
Let's just be very clear about this.
We tend to get so emotionally bent into situations that we forget that there's something, like you say, that's called decency and order, man. There's a method to the madness. We have to follow the protocols. To be hasty about anything, we're not siding with the male, we're not siding with the female. What we are saying is that we have to now, at this particular juncture, until there's a judicial result, we have to give respect to both sides. What has been done, like Mr. Howard Grant said earlier, slothfully, is when you are accused and you're a high-profile individual, the decent thing to do individually, without the Prime Minister even having to call you, is to have a conversation about stepping down. That's all it is.
Hey, let's be decent. That ain't happened on no side.
Well, and that's what I'm saying. It's not political
No
for
side.
me. It's not PLP or FNM for me. I'll tell you what else.
I've been waiting for certain people to step down a long time. No side.
Yeah, that ain't happening.
It ain't happening.
So this
because your only insulation is the position that you hold. Talk to me. And as soon as you step back from that position, the piranha's coming.
That is correct.
Okay, let's just talk. Let's be very clear.
And you see what is...
I have been waiting on the traditional juggernauts, the political juggernauts in the FNM to have strategic conversations. They obviously has gotten to the former prime minister. How are we talking? The juggernauts in the Free National Movement have obviously spoken and gotten through to the former prime minister, where he aligns himself with the now leader of the organization, and they are hack-a-shack as it relates to what should happen with Keith Bell. Talk to me. We're seeing former Cabinet Minister Ellsworth Johnson take on a strategic position to talk about immigration and what should happen in this particular position. We're seeing former Prime Minister and now current Member of Parliament for, where's his constituency?
Who's that?
Minis.
Kalani.
For Kalani. I don't know why it escaped me just now. Right? Take on a position of aligning himself with Michael Pintard's position and the Free National Movement's position of what needs to happen with Keith Bell. So this is hack-a-shack. And we did not expect the former Prime Minister to align himself, but obviously the juggernauts got to him and said to him, Minister, Bala, you're going to have to hold on this one, eh? And he, for all intents and purposes, from the purpose of perception, has aligned himself accordingly. But we have not seen that, without calling any names, in other spaces within the organization. I have been waiting for honorability to pop up and remain buoyant in this political discourse. And it has not. It has continued to be suppressed under a bushel. No, my God, hide it under a bushel. That's what they've done. With this little light of mine, it has been hidden. The honorability in these particular aspects. So when we're talking like this, let's just be very clear about these things. Can we expect our members to be honorable in any aspect? Let me take a telephone call. Caller, you on the line with us live. Go ahead.
Good morning, Brother Grant. Good
What's
afternoon,
happening?
Brother Grant. How you doing?
I'm good, man. What's happening with you?
All right, Brother Grant.
Yes, sir.
You been looking for Fiend Thompson yet? Boy, that got to be your brother by voice. That's your brother. But listen to me. Grant, I hear people now talking about they 1-1. The PLP get 1 and the FNM get 1. So they 1-1. But I guarantee you, I don't claim myself to be a prophet, but I guarantee you, they can be 2-1 Friday this time. So
you are wilding out. I read
They
some
can be
stuff.
2-1.
I read some stuff, but you ain't gonna spill that on the people reading.
No, I ain't gonna say it.
I appreciate you. It's like
They
a
can be
decent
2-1.
man.
But listen to me now. Let me just say a little something on this Kirk
Let me hear you.
Cornish situation. I don't know him.
Okay.
I don't know. I've never seen him. Different from what I hear, on TV or whatever. I don't know him. But Cornish got himself in this position because he took too long.
Took too long with what?
To either put the engagement ring on a finger or the wedding band.
You do too much. You
or
do too
he
much. You do
took too long to pay out some funds.
No, see, that's what...
Or he took too long to...
No, but that's what...
Caller, I gotta let you go. I gotta let you go. Yeah.
That's what the women talking about.
Slipping into darkness.
That's what the women talking about now, you see. Yeah, we can't go down that road.
Slipping into darkness. You're doing too much. You're doing way too much. You're wilded out. Let's take the next telephone call. Caller, you on the line with us live. Go ahead. Go ahead, caller, you on the line with us live. You're not on the line. Next caller, caller, you on the line with us live. Go ahead.
How you doing?
I'm good.
What I wanted to ask you, based on your political mind, okay, going back in history, how often things like this used to happen? Like back in the days with Bernard Nottage and person like Matthew Rose from St. Barnabas and the other, this kind of thing used to play a lot in politics. What do you see going on now?
I appreciate your telephone call.
point.
I like it. I like what you say. I appreciate your telephone call. Now, we are not unfamiliar. Can I say that? Garth.
I'm listening.
You listening. You right here with me?
I'm
We,
right
I
here.
and I, let's be very clear about this. Watch the decency. I just got to turn it up a couple notches. Watch me. We, in this culture, this political culture, are not unfamiliar with this level or this type of politics, right? From the personal aspect. There has always been social allegations. They tell you, I sit at these old fellas' feet, and they would tell me stories that will blow your mind. I dare not repeat them on this radio. They will listen to me. Listen to me.
I'm with you.
Listen to me. Now, these fellas don't know that I'm an ironclad. Now, when they didn't give me information, I got that on lock. And the only time that it's come out and rumble in my spirit is when Rowdy come. So I keep it on lock. I don't say nothing but these things. But I got your information. And the Bahamian people are not unfamiliar with these things. However, we are in a different dispensation. We're in a different era now. Instant gratification has raptured the minds of younger people. And there is an expectation to get their resolves now. Because one time ago, a senior man would say, baby, listen, man, leave that alone. You understand me? They would touch you on your shoulder. Certain persons that you had high regard for would show up and say, listen, I understand, man. You know, he didn't really necessarily mean it like that. Baby, leave that alone. But things have shifted. But things need to shift in this country, Garth, because we can no longer carry out this level, this course of perceived corruption and expect there to be social productivity and growth. We got to rectify these things. And sometimes it may be difficult because it's you. But this is the precedent that's going to be set for the next 50 years in this country. Talk to me, Garth.
I believe change is slow in this country only because, like you said, we're a now generation. Even the younger people today, if you hire them for a job today, they're going to work half a day and then they tell you, man, hey, just give me my little couple of dollars and me go. They ain't coming back to work tomorrow. A lot of these young people don't have it. But their parents are the same. A lot of the grandparents are the same. We all look for answers today. We look for solutions today. We look for benefits today. And this is why I'm telling people from those other third political parties how difficult it is. Because when, you know, the PLP and the FLM begin to play the music, give out the shirts, give out the hats, give out the wristbands, you know, put a little chicken on the grill, little bear, and I wouldn't talk about aristocrat, that one dangerous, and Barton and the rest of them, and they got the white ghosts and they got the stolies. See, I was hanging around these people. I know these people drinking. Some people nowadays smoking a little ting. You know, hey, if you can't give them these things, they ain't even trying to support you.
You know why? Because the precedent has been set, not by the new politician that's coming into the game, but by the old one.
It is set. That's what I'm saying.
You ain't gonna do what your boy used to do. You might as well roll out.
So you talking about this change coming? That change would come in. Let me tell you something. And I can put this on the air because, you know, the government had promised to legalize this marijuana thing, and I don't smoke.
I see Terry in the paper talking about it.
Okay, but listen, it's probably coming, right? It ain't helping nobody, but it's coming, right? As simple as that is, if you really want some of these young people to go and register to vote, you got to give them something.
You are wilding out, sir.
That's the only way you get them on the bus.
I don't believe that our people
You got to get them on the bus.
Are that low.
No, I mean, I never said they low. They just like what they like.
No, you
like
can't.
William said, we likes what we like. So
but
listen to me.
That's why they're
when I was growing up, Howard Grant, listen to Garth Maynard Roseborough, man. We did not buy liquor on Sunday, man. And you ain't drinking till after 12. First thing in the morning, 7:30, when me, Why Young, opened the shop. Nigga, these fellas, you almost caused me cuss this morning. These fellas got a Guinness and everything else in their hand, and they then drunk. They then smoking that ting. Where are we going as a nation like this, man? You talking about change? What change? Ain't no change. Let's smoke, let's have a good time, let's party, and everything is okay. Today, you know what I saw them doing today, praise God? They patching some hole. They ain't paving it. They patching. And as far as we concerned, as long as our car riding smooth and we don't drop in no hole, we happy. That's the type of people that we have been.
Oh, we got to invite some dignitaries from England.
For what?
And then they pave the roads accordingly.
Them pave road for us? They glad we drop it in the hole.
It wouldn't be for us. It's for the people who
Oh,
visit.
you mean them people?
Yeah, when they visit here.
But they only paving one road for them?
Well, then we asked them to tour the whole island.
Homeboy, our Prime Minister only riding one road.
My God.
As a matter of fact, I had a road run for the Prime Minister, run from his house to the airport and this house to Parliament. That's it. Now you go figure that out.
Let me read a couple of these texts. It says, justice delayed is justice denied. This has been delayed too long. Rape is rape. Whether or not we break up or we're together, rape is rape. Let me take a telephone call. Caller on the line with us live. Go ahead.
Hello.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm doing great. Listen here.
Turn down your radio 2 seconds.
And you might think this is weird. What if you used to go to all the churches, all the preachers today, we talk about fidelity and being faithful in your marriage, and say, every preacher come to Ralston Square, everyone, and declare, since I got married, since I became a Christian, I never
No, boy, that ain't happening.
on my wife.
No,
Come
boy.
out
No, boy.
and make that declaration.
You sound like you want hurricane hit Nassau. No, sir.
Pardon me?
You want hurricane hit Nassau. You never hear so much lies in one place in your life.
No, but another thing to go with that, you can say any woman that I ever touch, that I can use the local colloquium, beg, come out and finger me.
You seem to be very, very unlearned in terms of something called Alzheimer's. You know, we get dementia. I don't. I just remember the commission inquiry. I do not recall.
Well, I can say for myself, this coming November will make 37 years.
And you ain't back.
33. Not yet.
You say you ain't back in 37 years.
1976. Never slept out of my marriage. Wow.
Man, hey, Howard, you got to be decent, Howard. Howard, stop it. Howard, no, yeah, leave it right there. Leave it right there. Yeah.
Was to God first, then to my wife, and to my family. Never did. But I like that declaration to someone to take that stand and start that initiative and said, let's go now. We supposed to be men of God.
They counted out. They said God has forgiven 70 times 7.
But I repented and told my wife about it.
Boss, you trying to
everything.
You trying to work for the lawyers? You working for the lawyers?
What I'm saying, that's the only way, because this country, when you look at it, politicians, preachers, you remember that guy who going to run for president that time? He was in Bimini with a woman that wasn't his wife, and he was running, and he tried to deny it, and they came out all evidence. He fell out of the race.
My God.
I forgot who it was. He pulled out of the race.
Strong analogy.
I'm saying here, if we could get to that position, because when they start coming, I remember Kobe. No, I didn't do it. He came. Then he came and he confessed because the evidence was there.
This is a good man.
I can hear it.
This is a good man.
I can hear it.
He must say anyway. He don't
All
get
right,
any.
I appreciate the telephone call, my brother. He's a good, decent man. Gentlemen, I am so disgusted and frustrated with the entire political process in this country. When we say that we operate under the Westminster system of government, it means that you are expected to be an individual above reproach, and any semblance of impropriety, you must resign. You are supposed to be an honorable gentleman or lady, and KB's song, Jokey Leaders, comes to mind. This is one huge circus full of clowns. Next telephone call. Call on the line with us live. Go ahead.
Hey, Howard, what's up, man?
I'm good, man. What's happening with you?
Man, I am great, man. I see you got in there. God,
Hey, my brother.
what I want to ask you, right? I mean, and I'm not trying to change the paradigm shift in Howard's conversation. Okay, you have a lot of persons like yourself who continue to talk about solutions, right, for the country. But when you offer yourself to the wider community or society, how is it that the persons don't see the vision that you see, but you can see it to speak about it consistently? I mean, in other words, like, you know, when I listen to, don't get me wrong now. You talk to them sometimes I agree with things, and sometimes I disagree. What I'm saying is, how is it that so many people in this country have so many answers to our everyday problems that we face in society, but the people, when they offer themselves, don't see the need to elect them? I don't understand that.
It's because...
Thank you, but I appreciate your telephone call.
How do I may answer that? It's because of... Yes, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
It's because of lack of understanding as to what one really desires. We talk about this change. We talk about a better Bahamas, but please appreciate that many people don't know what better looks like. They don't know what a greater Bahamas looks like. I've been fortunate in my lifetime. I woke up this morning praising God for my mother. She's going to be 74 on September 11th. Lady from Iguana, left at age 6, orphaned all of her life. But a success story in every right. She's actually very well noted in the state of Michigan for feeding tens of thousands of people from her very own hands. She just made herself into a very accomplished lady, very successful lady, paid for all of her children's education at a master's degree level, cash money. I come from that type of product. And so for my whole entire life, I've been giving. By the time I get to the constituency and you ask me for $100 or $200 to meet your need, man, I've already given that. That's been gone a long time. You're going to have more needs in a community than you're going to be able to offer. And so if you're only looking for what you want, $100, $50, $200, some rum, some cigarettes, some weed, some whatever, I cannot give that to you. Why? Because I've always been a community. I don't have any rich friends who want to give me any money to give to you. What I do have is I have the education that I've had for the last training. I've been up where I've immersed myself in community. And I remember when I was a pastor, I money, but I used to give all my money back to the community. When I worked at BIC as a consultant in agriculture, senior consultant for BIC, salary went back into the Bahamian people. I trained for over 400 beekeepers from my pocket. You know, I had an organization, Goldstream, and we were doing great things in the community. They contributed, I contributed. It was a growing thing. I'm not going to tell you who was the evil one who put that whole idea to rest. What I'm saying is that you'll find that there are like Howard and other people who have vision for this country, but you got to fight government officials, you got to fight church leaders, and you got to fight everybody else who want piece of this pie, but do not understand that it is the pieces of pie that come together that's going to make a complete pie. We cannot get this pie completed until we stop being selfish. When is that going to happen? I can't see. But first of all, I know that we have to all do our part. I may never see Parliament. I don't even think I'm even interested in running anymore. Why? Because I'm so sick and tired of people being short-sighted. People, if you want better, you have to focus on the character of the individual, the ability of the individual. You can't put a dummy in Parliament who can't read and doggone write, man. How you know that? You can't put, listen, man.
How you know if the fella can read or write?
Listen to me.
You no test for that.
You cannot put somebody in the House of Parliament who doesn't understand the Constitution of the country. You cannot put someone in Parliament who is racist, because we got some white Bahamians here too that we got to love and take care of. You cannot put someone in Parliament who got 10 and 20 sweetheart, because once he get in, he can have 40 and 50 sweetheart. That's just the way it works. You understand?
We don't get to choose our politicians. I keep telling you this, Garth. Politicians are chosen for us.
They are chosen for us, but the innocent ones, the good ones that actually do offer themselves, they never get the chance.
Yeah, because we've already identified this. This is not about capability. This is not about conviction. This is not about critical thinking. This is about conforming. Are you willing to be my yes man? Yes, sir. Okay, here's an opportunity.
And I know yes man. Everybody know that, but me, I know yes man.
Quick commercial break. Be right back after this.
Foundation.
Shavara Roca Indians, Chickchani Farms. I don't think I chose farming. I think farming chose me. Winning this award would definitely give us the funding that we need to start our farming season. Most persons who are in the agriculture field realize that at the start of the season, which is in the next couple of weeks, you do always need a bulk of cash. I think we have a great track record for the work that we've been doing in agriculture over the last 10 years. And so when I saw the opportunity for an award like this, I figured, you know what, I should just go ahead and enter.
The Agrarian Awards, September 16th.
At Ron's Electric Motors, they repair and rewind all major brands of electric motors, including water pumps, generators, and the generator's back end, welding machines, electric lifts, air compressors, battery chargers, and more. They're equipped to handle up to 850 kilowatts and rewind up to 450 horsepower motors. Located on the corner of Wolf and Clarence Roads, and are open weekdays 8 a.m. to 5 p.m., Saturdays till noon. They offer 24 hours emergency assistance. You can reach them at 242-356-0249.
Okay, school bag, books, pencils, uniform, Oh, Lord. And I gotta buy snacks too?
The Guardian Media Group and AML Foods want to help families in need with our first ever Back to School Snackathon. What's a snackathon? Well, we want to help by assisting in donating school snacks to children who need them as they head back to school this year. To be a part of our snackathon, all you have to do is shop at your favorite Solomon Superstore or Fresh Market. At the store, you can donate your pre-existing loyalty points, or you can donate cash directly at the register. Every single penny will go towards purchasing snacks that will be donated for distribution by the Bahamas Feeding Network and Hands for Hunger. Together, we can ensure that every child that opens their backpack this year will have a snack and a smile.
Get involved, get involved. Get involved, get involved.
Grab your camera, capture the spirit of the Bahamas, and win cash and prizes. Scotiabank, in partnership with the Guardian Media Group, invites all youth, amateur, and professional photographers to enter the Celebrate Bahamas 50 photography competition, being held under the theme One Nation, One Legacy, Our Future. With more than $8,000 in cash to be won, snap those photos and send them in by August 30th. Visit GuardianTalkRadio.com or bs.scotiabank.com to find out how to enter. Let's celebrate our proud nation. Terms and conditions apply.
Foundation. Foundation.
And we are back, ladies and gentlemen, 96.9 FM radio, live and in full effect. I just wanted to kind of be as decent as possible as we get this sort of wrapped up in these last few minutes. I wanted to kind of touch this with you. There's this kind of an idea that exists out there about the integrity of these particular, all we are is mere mortals. We're just men.
Mm-hmm.
We're just filthy rags.
Flesh and blood.
We're just filthy rags.
We go back to the dust.
And the only thing that separates us from the immorality that exists out there, that is easily accessible to us, is a greater cause. That's it. A greater calling.
Well,
the purpose that we started off with. When you get in politics, if your desires is to dive in deep in debauchery, because that's what you see. That people tell you things like that, you know. Child politics is a dirty game. How would I know you're getting involved in that?
It is dirty.
But it only could be dirty if you got into it without a very clear course of action. Well, even Jesus Christ, let's be very clear about this. Jesus Christ was Jesus the whole time. We saw him dabble in something at 12. Mary say, hey, shut that down. The next time we saw him was 30. And his tenure was even a 5-year tenure. He didn't even execute what he was supposed to execute in 5 years. He had a very quick election.
3 years.
3 years. Bam.
Mm-hmm.
You do what you got to do. Get in, get out. Bam. Lest you think you're God unto yourself. And that was the issue with the first dispensation of politics in this country.
Howard.
25 years of leadership was too long. They believed that they were gods unto themselves.
We have had great people in politics in this country, people who have had decent character. I want to give a shout out to Mother Cynthia Pratt. You know, just comes to my mind. Just want to give a shout out to her. Good domino player. You know, I still got to figure out how to beat her and her partner. But I want to say this to you, Howard. You can be immersed in a situation of politics and be pure. But to last.
No.
To last.
No.
To last is going to be challenged.
I disagree with you.
Okay, so tell me, we've had no decent politicians in the Bahamas in the past? No one with a good heart?
Hold on. You said some stuff, and the course of what you've taken, I have to be able to deal with that.
Deal with it then.
You cannot be immersed in anything and be pure. That is a biblical principle that you know, that you could be in the world and of the world, and the only thing that provides you that insulation is your faith and transformation. If you are in politics, immersed in this thing, without the transformation and the supremacy of the purpose that you've been called to, you in the thing deep.
Listen, Howard.
And you are going to take levels and levels of suggestions.
Howard, listen to me, man. When I was a pastor, I can just sit on there. I ain't talking about what church I was a part of, right? Howard, listen to me. People who know me from college, when I was 18, man, listen to me. I was in Jamaica, homeboy. You know how good them, oh Jesus, man, the girls them look good. Everybody looked good. I wanted to explode. I was away from my parents' house. Mommy and daddy not around. This is my time now to get my hammer on. You understand? The voice of God spoke to me and I became a theologian. And everybody and anybody in this country, any other country could tell you on West Indies College campus, if anyone believed Jesus Christ was going to come tomorrow, it was me, or today. And I maintained that all throughout my ministry until I recognized that you can be a part of something, but being a part of it, if you're not integrated with the culture therein, that you're going to be pushed outside. That's the story of Joseph in the Bible, since you're a Bible-believing man. That he was one of the brothers, but he was exalted because he refused to become a part of his brother's system and of the system of Egypt. He was different.
He was a dreamer.
But you can remain.
He dreamt
you can remain.
Of elevation.
And you on this radio, you can be the shining light for all other media personalities, especially this upcoming election. To be honest, to be true, to be transparent, and to be accountable, because we all know in the Bahamas that when y'all sit behind that microphone, big bad boss man and boss woman, that y'all only cater and panter to those who have the power to say you're hired or you're fired. Let me say this very clearly to you, Howard Grant. God may not rose, but I don't work for nobody. And I'll tell you why. Because the day you feel that you could tell me what to do and I disagree, you could carry your backside. I telling you the honest to God truth, I don't bow to no man. I don't do that. My life is very short, 10. I am going to enjoy my life the way I feel that the Almighty wants me to live my life. Am I perfect? Absolutely not.
My God. Let me see if I can get one of these things. 15 seconds. Caller on the line, let's live. Quickly. Go ahead, caller. Quickly. No? Next one. Let's try it. Quickly, caller. Go ahead. Caller, you're on with us live? No? Okay, that's good. Howard, you're mixing up things. Resignation is for the appointment purposes, not elected purpose. Only Pintard has a position in the Free National Movement. That's a text that's coming through. It says, good day. Good day, Mr. Grant. You do this to yourself. You bring these hard-hitting persons on your show like Garth and expect them to be decent. LOL. They are going to get deep in the meat of the matter and ask questions that critical thinkers listening and want to hear and hear the answer to. Make comments that are critical thinking and want to do. But like Garth, Mr. Garth just said before, we need persons who know our Constitution. I appreciate what he says. So let's see if we can read another one. He says, good day. Your people get short time memory because you know how much young gals case. What raping finish? Okay, this is a lot. You're doing a lot, right? But it says instant gratification is
I like him with a long memory, but I like them set.
Yeah. Instant gratification is hard work. It builds resilience, but the short, quick fixes has become the order of the day. How do we get past that, right? As a text is coming through. Let me see if I can read those last two ones. It says, let the caller know that voters are not buying into good sense because the parties that these same cronies support have brainwashed the voters with contracts and rum. This is a text is coming through. Good afternoon. Great show. When we rather roll up T-shirts and bear and me instead of global change for the good of the country, we will always get the politicians who are the reflection of us.
Correct.
So people have to shut up and satisfy or fight for change and give the well-intentioned a chance.
That's correct.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's the show today. Garth, I thank you so very kindly. It has been a wonderful thing to talk about these things in decency. We just hit the silhouette. We didn't even dive deep into it.
When you are the most decent.
I try to be.
They say the most honorable, the right honorable, but you are the most decent.
Praise God for me. Praise God for you. Thank you for tuning in, ladies and gentlemen. We'll see you tomorrow right here on Small Business Thursday, 96.9 FM radio. Howard Grant in your company, The Foundation. We'll see you tomorrow. God's Spirit. Have a beautiful day, guys.
Foundation. Foundation.
The Foundation with Hart Grant is brought to you by Alive, AML Foods Limited, APNL Holdings Limited, Burger King, Commonwealth Bank, the Deposit Insurance Corporation, the Ministry of Agriculture and Marine Resources, Popeyes, Ron's Electric Motors, and Scotiabank.
The foundation.